Hi everyone, very good afternoon and welcome back to Crack Grade B. Am I audible? Am I audible to everyone? We had already completed till priority number 5, right? Today we have to complete and we have to start from priority number 6, that is the youth power. So let's start and talk about it. So under the youth power, there are various schemes as well as various initiatives that are taken by the Ministry of Skill Development, right? The first scheme and as well as the first initiative that has been taken is your Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, right? This particular Yojana, it is launched to skill the lakhs of youth within the next 3 years. Now, what you have to remember in this particular scheme is, first of all, which ministry has launched this scheme? So, Ministry of Skill Development has launched this particular scheme. Next thing, what we are talking about here, under the 4.0, that means the next version that it has been launched under your budget 2023, we are going to focus on new age courses like the coding, artificial intelligence, robotics, IoT, Internet of Things, as well as 3D printing, drone, soft skills, etc. In order to fulfill this particular objective, there will be 30 Skill India International Centers will be set up across the different states. Now, what these Skill India International Centers will do, first of all, they are going to train among all these technologies, and apart from that, it is also going to provide the international job openings. So any international job openings which are there, that will be provided under these particular Skill India centers, Skill India International Centers. The next is Skill India Digital Platform. So this is a new thing. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is an older scheme and it has been extended, right? But Skill India Digital Platform, it has been brought in. This is a new thing, fine. So we are going digital in this. What we are trying to do over here is we are going to provide the online skilling, right? Online skill based courses will be provided, online certification will be provided, and it is going to perform one more function. What is that one more function? It will link the employers as well as the employees together. That means job seekers will be provided with the jobs. So it is also going to work as a digital platform which will work as a matching platform for the employers and employees, just like the naukri.com, right? And the other employment related websites, if someone might be using them. So Skill India Digital Platform, it will enable demand-based formal skilling. It will link the employers including MSMEs, and it will facilitate access to the entrepreneurship related schemes. If there is funding related scheme which has been given by the government of India, again under this particular scheme, that will be given to the people. Next is for the apprenticeship promotion, there is a scheme for that. So under this, we are again going to focus promotion of the national apprenticeship promotion scheme. Not much is there. Next is in tourism, few of the schemes are there. These schemes are, first of all, Dekho Apna Desh initiative. It is not a scheme, it is an initiative. It has been a call by our Prime Minister to the tourists of India that before going to international destinations, please visit your country first. So many of you, I'm sure, even including me, we have not seen many of the places, many of the beautiful places which are there in our own country. So Dekho Apna Desh initiative is for that. Next initiative is the Swadesh Darshan scheme. So Swadesh Darshan scheme, it is not any new scheme. This is an older scheme. It was launched in the year 2014. Where under this scheme, what happens is circuits are developed, right? Circuits means the places which are linked with a common factor, like Ramayan circuit, Krishna circuit, right? Apart from that, desert circuit, Buddhist circuit. Now under Ramayan circle, I will be taking on all the places in the North India, that is means UP, right? All the places in the Madhya Pradesh. I will be also taking the places which are in the south of our country. All those places which are linked with the history of Ramayan will be linked under this particular circuit. So under Swadesh Darshan scheme, we are developing basically circuit based tourism. Next is vibrant villages program. So under vibrant villages program, what we are trying to do over here is we are actually focusing on the border villages development, right? So there are border villages, they have got their unique geography, history, as well as the culture of their own, which gets mixed into both the sides of the border. So these kinds of border villages that will be developed, and they are being developing under the vibrant villages program. Next is, this is an initiative which is quite has been in the news, Unity Mall. Can you guys tell me, where does Unity Mall right now actually working? Unity Mall right now in our country, where it is actually working? Any idea? You can make even a guess by the name of this Unity Mall. Tell me, where is Statue of Unity? So at that particular place, yes, Gujarat, right? So there Unity Mall is already working. Now what is Unity Mall? We all know shopping mall, right? Why do we go to shopping malls? In order to purchase these things. So this Unity Mall is going to facilitate the purchase and sale of handicrafts, right? Local products which are made by the local population, not just in the state which is it is present. Suppose I have made a Unity Mall in UP, right? So it will not only contain the products of UP, along with that it is going to contain the products from the all over the India. But I am talking about handicrafts product which are handmade, right? So for the marketing of that, this particular initiative has been taken. The states will be encouraged to set up Unity Mall in their state capital or their most prominent tourism center. Like for Uttar Pradesh, I am talking about, what is the most prominent tourism center? Agra is the most prominent tourism center in the Uttar Pradesh. Obviously Lucknow is the capital, but Agra is the most prominent tourism center. So UP government can decide that they will be establishing a Unity Mall in the Lucknow or in Agra or at both the places. So the central government has said that we should be promoting the handicrafts. Now apart from handicrafts, there will be products from one district one product scheme. There will be GI products. GI means geographical indication, right? Indication, sorry. Geographical indication product. What are these products? So there are some products which are made at a certain location. They are linked with the geography. Like I guess you people must be knowing, in Tirupati, if you will ever visit, or there is another temple in the Tamil Nadu, Tirupati Laddu, the prasadam that they give is a geographical indication product. That means that particular laddu, if you are taking from Tirupati, that is the authentic one. There is another temple in the Tamil Nadu called as Palani temple. Palani temple, there they give some Panchamrita product. That means that is also a form of prasad. There are 5 elements in it. I cannot remember the product contents, but that has also got geographical indication. Coming just a little bit further, in Maharashtra as well as in Karnataka, Kolhapuri chappal, that has also got the geographical indication. Fine. So geographical indication products will also be marketed in this particular Unity Mall. Apart from that, one district one product. So it has been this has been the initiative of the government, that what we should be doing, in every district we should be identifying one specific product which should be made as an identification of that district. Can you guys tell me that which is the district, or which is in which state the locks are very famous? I cannot remember that particular district. There is a district where logs are very famous. Like in Lucknow district, chicken curry work is very famous. Fine. So these are the different products, and these are the different initiatives that has been taken under the Unity Mall. Now some of the initiatives that we have taken for the financial sector. What are the initiatives? So we have already studied about these particular initiatives. One is the new one. Now next is credit guarantee for MSMEs. Credit guarantee for MSMEs means we have already seen in the ministry related chapters, where if the bank or the financial institutions, they are giving the funding to the MSMEs, then the central government has formulated this particular fund, where this fund is going to provide the credit guarantee. That means if MSMEs are going to default, in that particular case, banks will be made, their loss will be made good from this particular funding. So for that, revamped scheme will be will take place from the 1st April 2023 onwards, with the infusion of 9,000 crores in the corpus. This will enable additional collateral free guarantee of 2 lakh crores. Further, the cost of credit will also be reduced by the 1%. The interest that you are going to charge, it will be reduced by the 1%. Thank you, Nivedita. Aligarh is famous for locks. So in that way, and in on that footsteps, one district, one product scheme was envisaged, right? Now next thing is, this was related to the credit guarantee thing. We have already studied that. The next thing I want to talk about is the National Financial Information Registry. This is the important thing. So in 2018, a RBI committee was formed, and that RBI committee recommended that we should be having a national level credit registry. National level credit registry means this particular register is going to have all credit related data, all kinds of borrowings, correct, which has been made by all kinds of borrowers. Any kind of borrower, whether you are an individual, you are a retail, any kind of borrowing that you might have done, everything will be in this particular registry. Now what is the purpose of this particular registry? So the lenders, that means banks, NBFCs, financial institution, they can use this registry before giving any kind of loan or any kind of funding. It is going to help them. All the information will be at one place. Right now, the borrowings related data of every individual is distributed among different banks as well as NBFCs. We do not have a centralized database. So that centralized database is envisaged in the form of National Financial Information Registry, right? So a National Financial Information Registry, it will be set up as a central repository of the financial information. Next, talking about the GIFT IFSC. So GIFT IFSC, right now there has been a course going on for this. GIFT City it has been set up in Gujarat. It has been set up as a special economic zone. Why it has been established? Because we want to make this particular location in India as an international financial service center. That means we just not want to have a domestic capital market, we also want to have an international capital market, where the entities from all the foreign jurisdictions are coming, where the entities from India are also allowed. They are going to provide. Now what are the benefits under this? The customer base is not will not just be limited to India. Your customer base will increase to entire world, right? So obviously it will raise our economy. This will going to give us the growth that we require, and apart from that, there is also a thing that it will give the depth through our capital market as well, right? So these are the provisions related to the GIFT IFSC. Next is improving governance and investor protection in the banking funds. So to improve the bank governance and the investor protection, certain amendments have been made in these particular acts. And one more thing, investor protection fund, you all know that if there are any unpaid dividends, etc., they went to the investor protection fund. But later, if investor has come back and he wants that, okay, what were my funding, please return it. So there was no, there was the mechanism, it was quite cumbersome. So now it has been made an online one. If you were not able to claim your dividends at that particular moment of time, then you can claim it later on as well. You can take the withdrawals from the investor protection fund with an ease. So this particular development has also been done, right? One more thing, SEBI has been empowered to monitor over national institutes of securities market and to recognize the awards, diplomas as well as certificates which are provided by these national institutes. So SEBI will be having a monetary as well as a regulatory power over these educational institutions as well, who are providing the education related to securities market. Now, under Companies Act also, a central data processing center has been envisaged. See, data is the new oil. In the coming year, even right now, we are witnessing that for everything, every particular thing, we want a centralized data. Why do we want a centralized data? Because by having a data, we can do policy making. We can identify the trends, right? We can identify the deficiencies. There are so many benefits of maintaining a centralized database. So such kind of database has also been envisaged for the Companies Act 2013. Next is reclaiming of your shares as well as dividends. So for investors to reclaim unclaimed shares as well as unpaid dividends from the Investor Protection Education Authority with ease, there has been an integrated IT portal. It is going to be established. So this is the new provision which has been given under your this particular provision. Now just wait for a second. Yeah, let's start and talk about digital payments. So there is nothing much of quality information being provided over here. They are just saying that digital payment related things have increased in our country. In 2022, they have shown 76% increase in transactions as well as 91% increase in the value. So both volume as well as value related things have been provided over here. Now next thing, this is an important scheme. It is a one-time scheme called as the Mahila Samman Saving Certificate, right? It is going to be valid up to a 2-year period till March 2025. What you can do under this is you can do some savings, right? Up to what amount you can deposit in it? You can deposit up to 2 lakhs in the name of women or girls. At the same time, there will be a fixed interest rate that is going to be provided 7.5%. You also have to remember that partial withdrawals are allowed from this saving scheme. This is being under, see, up to 2 lakh rupees of deposit. Obviously this has been understood that the women, if she has saved something, she must be able to deposit it and she must be earning a good interest rate over it. But at the same time, what happens is that they are also allowed to do partial withdrawals by understanding that there are basic needs which a woman might have. So for that purpose, this is a very good scheme, and I guess this is a nice scheme for the small savers. Next is for senior citizens. So under senior citizen savings scheme, now they can deposit up to 30 lakhs. And then there is also a scheme, monthly income account scheme. These schemes are provided by the post offices as well as the other banks as well. They can also provide. Now what happens in this monthly income account scheme, the senior citizens, they can deposit a certain amount monthly basis. And once that amount is deposited, interest is also calculated on it, and a fixed amount as a monthly income is given back to the senior citizens. Now these kinds of accounts are very much suitable for all those persons who does not want to take that much risk, but at the same time they also want a monthly income. So the limits have been increased from 4.5 lakh to 9 lakh for a single account and from 9 lakh to 15 lakh for a joint account. That means this is the maximum deposit limit which you can make under the monthly income account scheme, right? Post offices, they provide such kind of schemes. Now next, fiscal management. So 50-year interest-free loan to states. I have told you this particular scheme was started from the pandemic year onwards, right? We witnessed pandemic in the March 2020, and after that in the next budget these particular schemes have been introduced. So what is the basic purpose of this particular thing is, we have already seen that the state governments, first of all understand this, when I compare central government and when I compare all the state governments taken together, please consider this, all the state governments taken together, they spend more than the central government. First thing. Next thing, in the time of pandemic, the revenue sources of the states were dried up. Correct? They were not having enough revenues. So at that particular time, obviously revenue expenditures will be made. Government employees' salaries will be given. But what took a toll was capital expenditure. State governments were not having enough revenues in order to spend on capital expenditure, like making of bridges, making of roads, making of panchayat bhavans, making of schools. These are all called as capital expenditures, right? So central government has brought up this particular initiative so that it is providing a 50-year interest-free loan. You do not have to pay any kind of loan. The duration is for 50 years, but the condition is you are going to spend this particular amount for the capital expenditure. That means for the asset development, right? This particular amount is not being given to you just to eat. This particular amount is being given to you in order to make certain assets. Fine. So with this particular thing, the entire loan to states has to be spent on capital expenditure within 2023-2024. Now the parts of the loan, some parts has been linked. This has been said that these are the few areas on which you have to spend. Central government has said that these are the compulsory areas, right? What are these compulsory areas? So first of all, scrapping old government vehicles. Now this has got this particular initiative was came in the last budget, right? Scrapping old government vehicles, it has many benefits. First of all, it has got environmental benefits, right? The old government vehicles are not very much capable of changing into new engine norms. Number one thing. Number two thing, if old government vehicles will be scrapped, then the new vehicles will be purchased. So this particular scheme is this particular initiative is also in the line of giving a push to automobile sector. Number two thing, this was the number two thing. Number three thing, with this particular scrappage, that means you have to build capital assets in the scrapping industry. So it is going to give a push to scrapping industry as well. We'll be having organized scrapping industries versus the informal organizations in the scrapping industry that we right now have, right? Next thing is urban planning reforms as well as actions needs to be taken. Financing reforms in the urban local bodies. Urban local bodies, they have their largest revenue source as the property tax, but that is also not well assessed. Apart from that, various taxes have been subsumed in GST, so that is also, there is also a revenue loss to them. They have to perform so many actions, you know, the municipalities, they have to perform so many actions, but they are always revenue dried up, right? They always look up to the state government for funding, and state governments also, what they exactly do, instead of making a urban local body a strong one, what they exactly do, they make some parastatal agencies. Parastatal agencies means, suppose a construction work has to be done in the city, correct? So what they'll do, they'll just make a special purpose vehicle. Instead of assigning that work to the urban local body, what they do, they make a special purpose vehicle for that. So what it does is, it reduces the powers of urban local bodies as well. So these were the some problems that urban local bodies have, and for that purpose our central government is instructing the states, you can just assume that they are forcing the states so that they can reform urban local bodies and they can give them some revenue strength. And next is housing for police personnel. Constructing unity malls, already discussed. Children and adolescents. I guess I'm audible now, right? Fine. So let's quickly revise this. Fiscal deficit of states. So states are going to be allowed a 3.5% of the gross state domestic product, of which 0.5% will be tied to the power sector reforms. So what are power sector reforms? Power sector means the depositories which are, the distribution companies which are there. See, understand this. There are power generating companies like thermal power plants. They generate electricity. Once they generate electricity, now this electricity has to be distributed till our homes as well as till other agencies, right? That means the companies as well as the industries as well. So this work is performed by the discoms. We call them as discoms, distribution companies. These discoms can be state based and also they can be private companies, right? So both problems, they both these things can be there. Now what is the problem that they face? See, the cost for transporting the electricity till the household is much more than the revenue that is being collected from the consumers. Understand this. So the cross subsidy happens. How does cross subsidy happens? I'm sure the electricity tariff that we guys are paying as a household consumers, it is way less than it should be. Correct. India has got a middle income earning population, and because of some political natures as well as the affordable related things, state governments as well as central governments, what they do is they do subsidize the electricity tariff. Like in my state, we are receiving a 1 rupee subsidy on the electricity tariff that it used to be, but all this expenditure has to be borne by whom? Industries. So the electricity tariff which is being charged from the industries is very much high. Still they cannot, obviously the distribution companies, they cannot charge after a certain amount of time, amount of money. So hence they suffer the problem of revenue. They are not able to make up their revenue deficit, and for that particular purpose there has been a scheme that was launched in the previous time. This was called as the Uday schemes as well as Ujjwal Discom Yojana, right? So this particular scheme was majorly focused on discoms, but still the problem has not been solved under the power sector. So the fiscal deficit of states, that's what the central government is saying, that you are allowed to have 3.5% of fiscal deficit, but out of this 3.5%, the 0.5% deficit should be because of the reforms in the power sectors, right? The next thing is revised estimates of the year 2022-23. See, obviously in the budget you estimate that in the next year these are going to be my revenue and expenditure. But estimates are always different from the realities. But why I am calling this as revised estimate? Can someone tell me? Why I am not calling them as actual figures? Why I am not calling them as actuals? Anyone? See, we are talking about in the year 22-23. So in the Feb 2022, when the last budget came, the government released the estimates. What are the estimates? Means government said that from 1st April 2022 till 31st March 2023, these are going to be our revenue as well as expenditure. Obviously in the budget you are very good. What's the name? Shashank. Good. So from 1st April till 31st March 2023, they said that these are going to be our revenue and expenditure. But the next budget, that means the current budget has came on 1st February 2023. There were still 2 months left in order to close the year. Fine. Therefore, these are called as the revised estimates, and hence these are not called as the actuals. This kind of information obviously no one is going to ask you in the examination, but it is important in order to understand and read about any particular budget document. Fine. So revised estimates of total receipts other than borrowing. Borrowings come under revenue receipts or capital receipts? Borrowings come under capital receipts or revenue receipts? Tell me. Good. Capital receipts. So I am going to count all my receipts except the borrowings. What are my total receipts? 24.3 lakh crores. Now just make a comparison in your mind. Fine. Just see the receipts. Out of that, tax receipts are 20.9 lakh crores. That means the major amount of our revenue comes from taxation. We have got two revenue sources. One is your tax related receipts, right? Other one is your non-tax receipts in the revenue receipts column. In the capital receipts, apart from the borrowing, we also have many other receipts, like if we have reduced our assets, we have made some disinvestment, so those things are also there. The expenditure is how much? 41.9 lakh crore. See, just almost the double figure we are having. Almost double figure, of which the capital expenditure is about to the tune of 7.3 lakh crore. That means you are having such huge revenue expenditure. Please also remember the relation to capital expenditure to total expenditure, right? Sometimes see, you never know that what kind of questions might be asked, but if you have some kind of vague idea that okay, capital expenditure is always 7 to 10 lakh crores and rest of total expenditure is your revenue expenditure, so this might help you in your problem solving. The revised estimate of fiscal deficit is 6.4% of GDP. Now don't tell me that ma'am this and this comparison it doesn't equals up to 6.4%. We have taken the deficit, that means the total revenue less the total expenditure. Fine. Total receipts less total expenditure. Borrowings we have now not counted. Obviously the total expenditure, that means 41 minus 24, this is going to be your fiscal deficit. This is the borrowing which you need to do in order to bridge the gap. But your fiscal deficit 6.4%, and 6.4% of what? Of your GDP. Fine. This figure should not be this much high. And again, these are just revised estimates. These are not actual. Apart from that, Off balance sheet financing is also one of the concept where we are not witnessing our true nature of fiscal deficit. Next thing, now what are the budget estimates for the coming year? What we are thinking about it? Let's talk. So in the coming year 2023, the total receipts other than the borrowing and total expenditures, we are estimating 27.2 lakhs. These are our total receipts, and total expenditure we have estimated at 45 lakh crore respectively. The next tax receipts we have estimated that these are going to be 23.3 lakh crore, and these figures are not just stated like that. Correct? They are based on the growth which we have attained during the last year, last to last year. So these are based on the trends, and on the basis of trends these particular estimates are being made. Now fiscal deficit, we have estimated that this is going to be 5.9% in the coming year, reaching a fiscal deficit below 4.5% by the year 2025 with a fairly steady decline over the period. So this is the government's aim in the budget. We are going to reduce our fiscal deficit 4.5%. So before COVID, the fiscal deficit always hovered 3.5%, 3.9%. These were the figures before COVID. But once COVID hit, all these figures, they have got shattered. Now the finance, the fiscal deficit, the net market borrowings from the dated securities, these are estimated at 11.8 lakh crores. These are going to be your borrowings from the dated securities. What does dated security means? Are they short term or long term? Dated securities are short term or long term? That's my question. Dated securities, what do they mean? They are short term or long term? I need answer for that. The balance financing is expected to come from small savings as well as the other sources. The gross market borrowings, these are estimated at the 15.4 lakh crores. Gross market borrowings means the total borrowings that you are going to do from the market, these are going to be that much. See, I have told you that the central government takes up the borrowings in two forms. One is the treasury bills, and the next are called the government securities. Now, why do they called as dated securities? Because in the names of these securities, the years are mentioned, right? You all know that the treasury bills are going to be maturing within a year. Maximum maturity is 354 days, right? So 354 days, around that maturity period is always less than a year. In this particular situation, there is no need to mention the year of issue in the treasury bills. So I do not call my treasury bills as a dated security. Now, how do dated security looks? Suppose I have issued a government security in the year 1999. So this will be mentioned by 1999 GSEC, correct? And if it is an equity instrument or another kind of instrument, right, obviously it will not be an equity instrument, but it will be written as like this, 1999 GSEC. So when you mention the year of issue in front of the security, this is called as the dated security. It helps us to identify that in which year this particular security has been issued. Yes, Priyabarta as well as Amrita, both of you are right, and the dated securities are the long-term instruments. So why this particular thing has been mentioned? You have done the market borrowing 11.8 lakh crores. That means out of your total borrowings, 11.8 lakh is a long-term borrowing. It is always a better practice if you borrow for a longer period of time. Why so? Because in short period of time, obviously the interest rates are also quite much higher, and apart from that, there is always a fear of repayment. Correct? Why you are borrowing right now? Because you are not having funds. But if someone will say that please repay my fund today only, that is also not a correct practice. Understood? Next is the Part B, taxes. So indirect tax, the aim of ours is to promote export, domestic manufacturing, enhance the value additions, etc. We have reduced the number of basic custom duty rates on goods other than the textiles as well as agriculture from 21 to 13. Next is green mobility. Why the basic custom duty has not been reduced in textile and agriculture? Why the basic custom duty has not been reduced in textile and agriculture? Do you guys have any kind of idea? I'm going to explain that as well. So green mobility is to exempt excise duty on the GST paid compressed biogas contained in it. To further provide impetus to green mobility, custom duty exemption is being extended to import of capital goods as well as the machineries which are required for manufacture of lithium ion cells for batteries which are being used for the electric vehicles. No one has answered? Fine. So why this has not been done? See, understand this, that the textile and agriculture market in India, there are so many agriculturally developed nations like Australia as well as the America. So they have got good agriculture, they have got investment as well. If we will reduce the custom duty related to agriculture market, then it is going to impact our farmers very badly. People will start importing the cheaper products from the outside countries and they are not going to pay the viable prices to our domestic farmers. This is the one thing. Apart from that, in textile sector also, India is a leading manufacturer as well as the exporter of textiles, right? So we are already fulfilling our domestic demands, and also we are doing good in the exports as well. So we do not no longer need to reduce our custom duties for these particular purpose. See, understand this, custom duties are reduced only on those products in which we are not having the capability or in which we are not having enough resources. Understood? Now see this particular green mobility. For electric vehicles, we need lithium ion batteries. Now lithium is the component in which that is not abundant in India. Right? There is a lithium triangle countries. Can you name those three countries? We call them as lithium ion countries. So we import lithium from there, and after that also it involves a lot of processing. So government has said that any kind of machinery which is being imported to manufacture lithium ion batteries, we are going to provide the basic custom duty exemption on it. Lithium ion countries, do you guys know about it? Bolivia, Chile, as well as the Argentina. These are the three countries. China also has the reserves, but the lithium ion countries, we call them these three. Yes, good, Gaurav. Now next is electronics. The mobile phone related production in India, it has increased from 5.8 crore units, which are valued at about 18,900 crores, to 31 crore units. So in the last financial year, we are progressing and we are leading in the electronic sector as well. Now some of the exemptions as well as some of the changes that has been brought under the basic custom duty. So in the customs thing, I'll tell you few things for just basic understanding. See, what happens is, suppose there is a product which is made in India. If I want to purchase this product will cost in India at 100 rupees, right? Why this product will cost in India at 100 rupees? Because this is going to involve all the cost. This is going to involve the taxation, right? The taxation related things as well, the tax which our government of India has imposed. Now suppose something we are importing from outside. So that the same product which if I am purchasing in India is costing me 100 rupees, if I have imported, then it will cost me 70 rupees. Now tell me, if as a government, if we will allow the import at the rate of 70 rupees, then it is going to destroy whole industry in India. So for that purpose, what government does is, first of all, government imposes the basic custom duty. This basic custom duty is applicable on everyone. Then government also imposes the additional custom duty. If government feels like the price of this product is not comparable with the price which are available in India, so custom duties are imported in order to make the imported goods price comparable to the domestic goods price. The intention is that we do not want to destroy our national industries. Now a classic example of this is our pharma industry that got destroyed in the 1990s as well as in the 2000s, and now China is a leader in that. Fine, although we on the volume basis we are still the leader, but there is an API thing that is given in the medicines industry, that is used in the as a raw material in medicine industry. We used to be a leader in that, but because of these Chinese products we have lost in that. So now looking at the provisions, basic custom duties on electric kitchen chimney, it is being increased from 7.5% to 15%, as well as on heat coils it has been decreased. Denatured ethyl alcohol, it is used in the chemical industry and it has been exempted from basic custom duties on it. This will also going to support the ethanol blending as well as to facilitate our endeavor for energy transition. Right now we are making a, what you can say, a trial. We are blending ethanol with the petrol so that our imports bill on the petrol as well as the crude oil can reduce, with, even if, see, on a daily basis we consume so much of petrol. If we are able to reduce even 10 to 20% of that, then it will be too much beneficial. So in all these provisions, somewhere the basic custom duties will be have to be increased, somewhere it is decreased. So where it will be increased, where we no longer need the product, and where it will be decreased, where we need the product for the development of our own industry, right? The basic custom duty, it is also being reduced to on acid grade fluorspar to 2.5%, so that domestic industry can be made as competitive, right? The basic custom duties on crude glycerine, again it has been proposed to reduce. So these particular things you can read by yourself. Next is lab grown diamonds. So India is a global leader in cutting and polishing of natural diamonds, and it has contributed about 3/4 of the global turnover by the value. So there will be nil tax till 2024 March. There will be nil tax on it. We want to improve this. Remember this, if we talk about the exports, the top commodities which we are exporting, top 5 commodities which we are exporting in India, the gems and jewelries do come in that particular top 5 commodities, and they also come in the import section as well. So top 5 commodities that we import, it also includes the gold, right? And the exports, they include the gems and jewelry. So we have got a much great potential in this particular areas of gems and jewelries, and hence government has said that we are not going to charge any tax till the 2024 March. In cigarettes, obviously, as predicted, taxes are going to go up by 16%. Now talking about the direct taxes. First of all, few more data is being provided to you. The taxpayers portal has received a maximum of 72 lakh returns in a day. So this is not the total returns number, right? This is in a day the maximum returns that has been filed. So this also shows that the portal is efficient. It is able to handle such large traffic of data. Next, processed more than 6.5 crore returns this year. So This year 6.5 crore people have filed their returns. Understood? Average processing period has reduced from 93 days in the financial year 13-14 to 16 days now, and 45% of the returns were processed within 24 hours. So people like who they file nil returns, there are not much of the income, there are not much complexities, all these returns are processed within this particular time period. So this shows the capability of the government as well as its digital infrastructure. So with that, I would like to wrap today's session. Thank you so much for joining in. There is still much more left in our budget session, right? So we have to talk them about them as well. I'm trying that first two statements. Which two statements? Okay, direct taxes. So this is see 72 lakh returns have been filed in a day. This is just a data which shows that on one particular day there has been 72 lakh returns filed, right? This shows that the portal is capable of handling such big traffic, and in this year totally 6.5 crore returns have been filed. So these are the total number of people who have filed their returns. It includes individuals, companies, etc., etc. Now the IFSCA live classes recordings are unavailable. Are you talking about YouTube? So I'm not aware about it. I guess the YouTube starting 3-4 classes must be available. And are you a paid course member? If you are a paid course member, then you can call on the helpline. Thank you so much for joining in, and we'll be continuing tomorrow as well with the budget session.